Lieutenant Colonel Nandasena Gotabaya Rajapaksa, RWP, RSP, PSC, GR is a Sri Lanka politician and former military officer currently serving as the 8th President of Sri Lanka since 2019. He has previously served as Secretary to the Ministry of Defence and Urban Development from 2005 to 2015 under the administration of his elder brother former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, leading the Sri Lanka Armed Forces to the military defeat of the Tamil Tigers, which ended the Sri Lanka Civil War. Born to a prominent political family from the southern province, Rajapaksa was educated at Ananda College, Colombo and joined the Sri Lanka Army in April 1971. Following basic training at the Army Training Centre, Diatalawa, he was commissioned as signals officer and later transferred to several infantry regiments. He saw active service in the early stages of the Sri Lanka Civil War with the elite Gajaba Regiment, taking part in several major offensives such as the Vadamarachi Operation, Operation Strike Hard and Operation Trividha Bale, as well as counter-insurgency operations during the 1987 to 1989 JVP insurrection. He took early retirement from the army and moved into the field of information technology, before immigrating to the United States in 1998. He returned to Sri Lanka in 2005 to assist his brother in his presidential campaign and was appointed Defence Secretary in his brother's administration. During his tenure, the Sri Lanka Armed Forces successfully concluded the Sri Lanka Civil War, defeating the Tamil Tigers and killing its leader Velupillai Prabhakaran in 2009. He was a target of an assassination attempt in December 2006 by a Tamil Tiger suicide bomber. Following the war, Rajapaksa initiated many urban development projects. He stepped down following the defeat of his brother in the 2015 presidential election. In 2018, he emerged as a possible candidate for the 2019 presidential election, which he successfully contested on a pro-nationalistic, economic development and national security platform. He is the first person with military background to be elected as President of Sri Lanka and also the first person to be elected president who had not held an elected office prior. Gotabaya Rajapaksa was born in Palatwa in the Matara district, as the fifth of 9 siblings, and was brought up in Virakatia in the southern rural district of Hambantota. He hails from a well-known political family in Sri Lanka. His father, D.E. Rajapaksa, was a prominent politician, independence agitator, Member of Parliament, Deputy Speaker and Cabinet Minister of Agriculture and Land in Vijayananda Dahanek's government. His elder brother, Mahinda Rajapaksa, was first elected to Parliament as a member of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party at the age of 24 in 1970, who gradually rose through the party ranks, becoming the leader of the opposition in 2001, Prime Minister in 2004 and the President of Sri Lanka in 2005. Two of his other elder brothers, Chamal Rajapaksa and Basil Rajapaksa, are also current members of Parliament. He obtained his primary and secondary education at Ananda College, Colombo. Rajapaksa joined the Sri Lanka Army as a cadet officer on the 26th of April 1971, when Sri Lanka was still a dominion of the British Commonwealth and was in the midst of the 1971 JVP insurrection. Following his basic officer training at the Army Training Centre, Diatalawa in its 4th intake, he was commissioned as a second lieutenant on the 26th of May 1972. In the Sri Lanka Signals Corps. Soon after, he was sent for the Signal Young Officers course at the Military College of Signals, Rawalpindi. On his return, he was assigned as the signals officer to the Task Force Anti-Illicit Immigration, based at its headquarters in Palali, under the command of Colonel Tissar Veeratunga. In April 1974, he was promoted to lieutenant and in October he transferred to the Sri Lanka Sinha Regiment as an infantry officer. In April 1975, he attended the Infantry Young Officers course at the School of Infantry and Tactics, Quetta. Returning in June, he was assigned as the Battalion Intelligence Officer at the Echelon Barracks in Colombo and was promoted to captain in April 1977. Following the change of government in the 1977 general election, He was transferred to the Army Training Center, Diatalawa as an officer instructor in August 1977. In January 1978, he was appointed Grade 3 Staff Officer of a branch handling administration of the Diatalawa garrison. During this time he attended the Senior Staff and Tactics course at the Panagoda Cantonment and took part in preparing a report on encroachment of state lands in the north and eastern provinces for the Defense Ministry. Thereafter in 1980, he joined the newly formed Rajarata Rifles as its adjutant under its first commanding officer, Lieutenant Colonel V. K. Nanayakkara. Rajapaksa played a major role in establishing the regimental headquarters of the newly formed regiment at Salyapura. That year he attended the counter-insurgency